Hi and welcome to our new video. This is the Cosori XXL Air Fryer. We've reviewed it for you and you'll find out everything you need to know in this video. So just stay tuned. So, let's get started with our Cosori XXL review. We go straight into some details in our features and technology section. The volume of the air fryer is 5.5 liters, which should be good for around 3 to 5 portions. It has an output of 1700 watts and 11 predefined cooking programs. The temperature can be set from 75 to 205 degrees Celsius in 5-degree increments. There is also a very easy-to-read LED touchscreen as well as a timer function of up to 60 minutes. The whole thing can be planned with the scheduling function of up to 4 hours in advance. One special feature of this model is the option to control the appliance with an app. Furthermore, the air fryer comes with a preheat and warm keeping function. You'll also get a shake reminder. This means that the air fryer will remind you to shake or turn your food at the right time. It also comes with a few recipes in 4 languages, including English, of course. We also have the option of accessing additional recipes via the app. The next point is the operation and use, and we'll get to the handling first. Overall, you can say that the display is very easy to read. We have the advantage of having several values displayed here. What's also convenient is the fact that you can see the temperature and time simultaneously. The cover here on the frying basket works in the same way as on the device from Princess, but with the advantage that it is a little safer and more convenient. It doesn't wobble so much, so it does make a better impression in the end. Overall, the Cosori XXL is a user-friendly appliance. The display and menu navigation are simply structured and intuitive to use, pretty self-explanatory, so you don't have to study the operating instructions for ages. It's not really necessary here. While we have the basic controls here, such as the on and off button, we of course also have the option of setting the temperature and time using the plus and minus buttons. Then we have the 11 presets as well, of course. We also have a preheat and keep warm function. As mentioned at the beginning, we can control the Cosori Air Fryer with the help of an app. So all the functions that you see on the display and that you can select can also be controlled remotely from your couch or wherever you are in your home using the app. Installing the app is quite simple as well. A short guide describes exactly where you can get the app. For example, there's this QR code, or you can simply go to the App Store or Google Play Store, and it guides you through the process. Register the device, and then you can access everything. The app itself is simple and intuitive to use. Set the temperature and time, start cooking, pause, stop cooking. It's all pretty easy. Of course, you can use the presets, and if you want, set the scheduling function. You can set a time delay of up to 4 hours, which can certainly be helpful in some cases. The recipes displayed in the app are really good. Not only can you see the temperature, time, and ingredients, you also have instructions for the preparation itself. The air fryer is already fully integrated into those recipes, which makes it even easier. The whole thing can then be started at the touch of a button. One thing about the heat generated on and around the appliance during operation, the air fryer emits quite a lot of heat, but overall it is still okay. We do have 11 presets here, but I have to say one thing about those first. These presets are meant more as guidelines. Therefore, if you are just starting to work with this appliance for the very first time, they may be of help. Still, try to get used to it yourself. Check it every now and then. You'll have to turn the fried food from time to time anyway. Over time, you will simply develop a feeling for what settings you'll need for certain products in order to cook them properly. As I said, the presets are more of a guideline than something you can rely on 100%. If you do, the food may not turn out quite as well. On the whole, it's learning by doing, similar to getting a new oven or even a car. You have to get used to it. So what does that mean in regards to cooking with this device? Like we said, if you don't rely on the presets too much and try to fine-tune your settings yourself, you'll end up with good results in the end. In the case of fries, for example, they get crispy on the outside and very fluffy on the inside. They also have a stronger, more potato-y taste compared to fries from a deep fryer. There's nothing to remind you of some rancid-tasting deep-fried fat. You simply don't have that here. Only the pure potato-y taste of the fries themselves. Nuggets, or pretty much all the other things that are typically deep-fried, turn out great in an air fryer like this. We have also tried it with chicken wings. They turned out really good, a great result, perfectly cooked and delicious. That surprised us. We would have thought that chicken wings would only work well in a proper oven. Vegetables, on the other hand, are a bit trickier. Or, let's put it the other way around. Generally, everything that you actually make in a cooking pot should stay in the cooking pot. If you simply put plain vegetables in the air fryer and hope for great results, then we'll have to disappoint you. There is a high chance that the vegetables will actually get burnt. You could try different approaches, though. If you add some oil and try something like roasted veggies instead, it turns out great. Muffins work pretty well in general, or other baked goods, similar to muffins. Once you have found the right settings and keep an eye on the whole thing from time to time, and check that they're not getting too dry, they will turn out nice and fluffy. However, are we actually frying with less fat than with a normal deep fryer? Pretty confident yes to that. There is simply nothing dunked into liters of oil and fried, so no. At most you have a tablespoon or two that you add, but that's it. Nothing more. You actually have a relatively fat and oil-free experience. The only fat you have in it is the fat contained in the actual product itself. So the answer is obvious. This way the taste of the food itself will be more prominent. We also took a noise measurement with the Cosori XXL, of course. We measured 67 decibels, which, together with the Princess Air Fryer, is the loudest appliance. However, it has to be said that it is not so loud that it is disturbing in any way. At the end of the day, it is a kitchen appliance, and is therefore at about the same level as many other devices in the kitchen. The noise level is comparable to a discussion or a conversation. Next, we would like to talk about the workmanship and cleaning of the device. Let's start with the workmanship and visual appearance. The first thing to say is that we do have some gaps here, which is not as nice. However, they are nowhere near as bad as with the cheaper appliances. It's noticeable in the drawer area, but that's complaining at a very high level. Overall, it's a pretty good fit. Other than that, the appliance is quite well made. It has this brushed metal finish. It's a synthetic material, but it looks like brushed metal, and that also creates a very high quality impression. I think the device looks very good. Even with the display at the front, it's well integrated, and everything fits together quite well. Looks good to us. These air fryers need to be cleaned as well, of course. You can't put the appliance itself in the dishwasher, but you can throw the frying basket in. Unfortunately, the tray has to stay out. You have to wash it by hand. That's a bummer. We would have expected more at this point, but oh well. At least cleaning the appliance itself is quite simple and fairly straightforward. Let's come to our conclusion. What can we say? We are, of course, complaining at a very high level, especially in regards to the two cheaper devices, when I say that the workmanship here is not perfect. Clearly, that's only nitpicking, but it still has to be said, especially because of the fact that we have a device here that is a bit more expensive than the cheaper ones. You could have expected a little bit more, but it's still okay in the end. A slightly bigger drawback, in my opinion, is the volume. I would have expected a lot more here. The noise level could just about keep up with one of the cheapest devices. That's not such a strong performance. Otherwise, the Cosori XXL impresses with positive features throughout. We have a very high number of features here. We have a lot of quality of life goodies and a good core function, namely cooking. We also have the app control, which is pretty neat. And that brings us to the following question. Who should get an air fryer like this? Apart from everyone that likes the remote use via the app, it's clearly for people who want to eat healthier, but don't want to miss out on delicious fried food. The appliance comes in a sleek black or anthracite finish, which makes it also fit in well with modern kitchens. And as we naturally have the recipe book and can access additional recipes via the app, the Cosori XXL also seems very suitable for amateur chefs and foodies. Here you simply have the opportunity to deviate from the usual cooking habits and simply experiment with the air fryer and discover your new favorite recipes. So, we've checked out this air fryer for you. Take a look at the video description below if you want to find out more. We have linked the product for you there as well, of course. Otherwise, just stay tuned. Our Endcard will provide a few interesting video suggestions for you.